I didn't really have a sex life growing up because I wasn't allowed to have boyfriends.
And
I actually got bullied in school for being like
a virgin,
promiscuous, and everybody would bully me and say I'm not a virgin, but I was a virgin until I was 21, and there was all these rumors in high school about me. But I tried to keep that virginity thing because I was like, my parents, like, you know, my culture, you're technically not supposed to lose your virginity until like the day you get married. That's pretty much how that culture goes. So like, I don't really think that's gonna fly with me, but I'm gonna like keep it going until as much as I can. I thought this whole like fairy tale losing your virginity thing was gonna happen, but it didn't happen. But I did keep it until 21. And then I finally, like when I was in university, I was just like, all right, like I just want to be free and do whatever I want to do.
Be a little hoe.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone needs like university hoe face.
Yeah, because like how are you supposed to ever find your soulmate if you didn't like go through the wrong people, or you're like, okay, I don't like that. I like that, but like I don't know, like you got to keep, I feel like, practicing and seeing what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
And I think chemistry is really important. Like not every person has chemistry, so I feel like it allowed me to be more open.
Exactly. So the way you grew up and not being able to have boyfriends, were you also not allowed to dress a certain way? Were you allowed to wear short shorts, bathing suits, or was it very covered?
Yeah, so being from Iran, my dad is like covered, no bikinis. If we're going to the beach, you're wearing a turtleneck, like type of dad.
You're wearing like a marshmallow suit.
It's like summer, I'm wearing shorts. He's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, shorts. He's like, where's your pants? I'm like, these don't count as pants? All right. So yeah, my parents are very strict about clothes, mostly my dad, especially from the culture, but I think it's just the way he was raised. He just has that mentality, which I've tried to like teach him a bit. Since I am an Instagram model, posting my butt all day on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think that's not really what he was expecting his daughter to be doing, but I'm just trying to give him a more open-minded look at the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because I post my butt doesn't mean like I don't have a brain.
Usually girls with big butts, like if you know how to monetize off it, I think like you're pretty fucking smart.
Exactly.
Do you think that growing up the way that you did had an impact on like your sexuality and kind of embracing yourself as like a sexual being?
Yeah, I feel like I restricted myself from being so sexual for like a long time because the bullying thing, being Muslim, like strict parents. So like I said, like until 21 while I was in universities, finally when I was like trying to get into it, like exploring my sexuality. But yeah, I think I forgot the question actually. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Do you think like it affected the way that you viewed your sexuality and like the way like I'm trying to think, but like
if you had sex, it was bad or something.
Like if you had sex, it was bad. Like for example, like just to put this into perspective, so like when asking about like your sexuality, like I didn't want to make an OnlyFans because it's like I was oppressing my sexual part of myself. And like I was thinking like in my head, like my parents wouldn't want me to do this. So it's like I was oppressing my sexuality for other people and like the judgment of society. So especially with your culture, do you think that, just what was the transition like to, where you are now?
So the transition was actually kind of hard because I was working in engineering, like 9-to-5 corporate job. So it was not only like the family and culture thing that was hard for me, it was also like working that like 9-to-5 corporate job and what my coworkers were going to think of me, as well as what my parents and family and everybody was going to think of me. So yes, it was hard to transition into it, but I saw it as an opportunity. While I'm young, I'm confident, like there's only a certain window for me to be a model and like be proud of what I look like. Yeah. Once I have a kid and I have a family, I don't really think that's like the life that I would want to live. So I think in my head, I was rationalizing it like this is the moment for me to do this while I'm young. Yeah. And then once I'm older, I can always sit behind a desk or, be a mom or be conservative and be sexual behind closed doors. Yeah. But it was hard for me to like, leave my job and like tell my family about it. But
so we haven't gotten into the engineering part yet. So you went to college. You are or were a chemical, correct, engineer?
Yes.
A smart.
Yeah, I know a lot of calculus and physics for no reason now.
Oh God, calculus was like my favorite subject.
Me too. I love that. Yes! I'm actually nerd at heart.
Yeah, like we're kind of internet p stars, porn stars.
Yeah, like my gets wet from solving equations. I used to get excited, like when I was in university, like I'd be studying for all my other classes and I'd be like, okay, I'm doing calculus. I'd be so into it. I'd have my like Kanye playing. I'd be like going in, like just like solving it. Like I'm like, yes.
Yes. And then you had a job in chemical engineering, and then that's when things started kind of going south, right?
Yeah, so I was always like doing Instagram in high school and stuff while I was getting bullied. Like that was kind of like my outlet of getting away from the people that I was in school with. And the internet seemed to like me. I would post a selfie and I would have all these random people being like, oh, like, we love you, you're beautiful, all these reposts and stuff. So while I was working the engineering job, before I got the engineering job, I went really hard on Instagram and growing it because there was a time between where I graduated and finding a job. And that was like a long time. And throughout that time, I was a bottle girl, I was a server, I was a bartender. At the same time, I was working on my social media, and I had a premium Snapchat at the time. And that was just like a way for you to get added back to my Snapchat if you wanted to talk to me. If you were like an Instagram fan and you just wanted to like be able to say hi and for me to open it. That's what that was. And then as time went on, I saw that my serving job made more money than my engineering job that I finally got. So I was like, okay, let me like see what this premium Snap is about. Like I could have like a second source of income from this. I started going hard on that, and then I sold my first video. I think it was like $700.
I think the most I've gotten is like 150.
Really? This was on premium Snapchat day, so they had to like send you the money.
This is before OnlyFans was a thing, and Vagine, oh my god, I don't know why I can't say the word. It's really hard, but like now it's just so readily available.
It's readily available everywhere, on Twitter, like everywhere. But yeah, no, this guy was like my fan or whatever, and he really wanted to see it. I was like, all right, whatever, 700 is what I make in 2 weeks as an engineer. Like, let me just. And then 3 minutes later, another person was like, do you ever do videos? And I was like, actually, I just made one. Like I didn't tell him that. I was like, oh, I'll make you one. 700. Made $1,400 in like 10 minutes.
Crazy.
And that was like my whole paycheck as an engineer. I was like, wait, there's people that are doing this. And I started researching into like webcamming, and I think there's this like cam movie on Netflix. I started watching it. I was like, wow, this is so cool. There's this whole like thing out there that you can make money online from being hot and doing like pleasing yourself at the same time. I can make money off of this. But then I'd be like going to my engineering job. I'm like, damn, today like at my desk, like, oh, I hope nobody sees the stuff that I took on my phone yesterday. like my boss coming over my shoulder. I'm like editing a booty pic. Like, sorry.
Sorry, sir.
But then, yeah, my mental health started declining at that corporate job, and I just didn't see myself as the CEO that I had always envisioned myself being as a little girl. I've always saw myself being a CEO of my own company.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that happening working there. I just saw everybody like really not being happy after years of working there. I'm like, okay, this is not the same path I would like to go down. And there's an opportunity here with social media. And if I just spent time traveling, meeting people, networking, figuring it out, I can really like make this a career. And and you know, just work for myself, be my own CEO, which happened. You know, I manifested this life.
Do you think part of the reason that your mental health was like declining at your job was because like you felt like you were living for someone else, or you felt like you weren't being true to what your brand was and like what you wanted to be?
Yes, 100%. Because I used to find myself texting my dad, being like, Dad, I'm making money online. Like, I could leave this job and do it. And he's like, no, you know, you have to do that job. And I was definitely, you know, trying to make my family happy and proud. And all that stuff.
I mean, how did you finally decide like that you were going to live for yourself versus doing what like everyone else wanted you to do?
When I would sleep and it was just me.
So your sleep helped you decide what you wanted to do?
Like, I'm gonna start crying. But like at the end of the day, it's just you, right? Like your parents could care about you and want you to be a certain way, but it's you sleeping with your own thoughts. So if you're excited to wake up and do that job, great, but I wasn't. I wasn't getting excited to get out of bed every day. I was getting depressed. I was like, is my mental health and my happiness more important than making my parents happy?
Yeah.
And I feel like they could be happy if I just made so much money, because money's a big issue in life, right? If I just made so much money that I could just solve all their problems with money, then it doesn't matter.